Hello, my name is Richard Lowe. Today's question is, what unique character traits does it take to become a successful ghostwriter? Well, that's an interesting question. Being a ghostwriter, it requires everything that it requires to be a writer. So to be a writer, you have to, of course, know how to write in your language, know the grammar, know style, understand how to write something that's interesting, and know plotting and all of the various other components of writing, creative writing. If you're writing a nonfiction story, if you're ghostwriting a nonfiction story, you need to understand how to put together an interesting nonfiction story that really outlays the facts in a good way and presents them so that people understand. If you're if you're a fiction writer, then you have to understand the basics of plotting a book, creating characters, character arcs, story arcs, and all the other stuff. So first you have to be a writer. Second of all, you have to be a marketer. You have to market yourself. You have to put yourself out there and get customers. And that's tough because a lot of people become writers, that I've seen anyway, because they're a little bit introverted. They like to write. They still like to sit in front of a computer screen or with a pen and paper or whatever and write rather than go out and deal with human beings day in and day out. There's nothing wrong with that. But marketing is a whole different skill that requires getting out there. Like creating these videos. This is kind of extroverted. This is something that's it's somewhat difficult for me to sit here in front of a video and put it out there. So know that you have to put yourself out there and market yourself and talk about you and how good of a writer you are and things like that. And that's hard for other people. Like they don't like to toot their own horn. There's kind of a taboo against that sometimes in society. Well, you have to. And then you have to know how to run a business. And that's an interesting thing that you have to learn. How do you run a business? And how do you run a project? So a book is a project. A book has interviews that have to be scheduled, a client that has to be managed, perhaps other people that need to be interviewed, research that needs to be done. All this needs to be scheduled and controlled and so forth. And if at the end, when the book's done, it has to be edited, so you have to find the client an editor or help him find one. Same with proofreading, cover art, and all that other stuff. Or if the client is getting a book professionally published, then you have to worry about that end of things, which is a whole different ball of wax. So there's lots of character traits that are associated with being a writer and a ghostwriter. So just be aware that it's a career like any other career, and it requires effort, and it requires work, and it requires the ability to take somebody else's thoughts and ideas and put them down on paper. Not your thoughts and ideas, although your thoughts and ideas, of course, help with that, but it's somebody else's thoughts and ideas. So, this has been Richard Lowe. I am the Writing King, and you can find me at thewritingking.com. Thank you.